So today we're going to be talking about free food resources that you can find online, including like food pantries and hot meal programs. You've probably heard a lot about what's going on with SNAP. We're going to talk about that a little bit. It's still unclear what will ultimately happen with SNAP. So I'll show you some current updates about it and then show you a place where you can go to get real-time updates about what to expect for SNAP in November. So today, like I said, we're going to look at some online food resources. So places to find food pantries, hot meal programs. We're also going to look at where to find farmers markets across the city where you can use help bucks. So help bucks, there's $2 coupons, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So just a way to stretch your food money further. And this picture on the right is what we're going to look at from the Food Bank of New York City, their Find Food app. There's a bunch of different food maps like that, but this is the one that I thought worked best. If you have another way that you've looked up food pantries in the past, that's fine too. This one seemed pretty well updated. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about SNAP benefits in November. So you've probably seen a lot about this on the news, on social media. I just want to give you the most current information that I have about it and give you a sense of where we are right now. So we know the government's shut down right now. The Trump administration has said that there are not going to be any SNAP benefits starting on November 1st. So in response to that, a coalition of 24 states, including New York State and including DC, that are led by Democrats, either governors and attorneys general, are suing the Trump administration to say that they need to fulfill their legal obligation to provide SNAP benefits throughout the government shutdown, which is something in other government shutdowns in the past, SNAP benefits haven't been taken away. So they're saying that this is a legal obligation and they need to do this. So that lawsuit is currently in court. There's no decision on that yet, but New York is part of that. New York Attorney General Letitia James, has been a big force in that effort as well. Given the threat to SNAP benefits and the uncertainty about what's going on in November, our governor, Kathy Hochul, has pledged a total of $40 million in state funds to support emergency food programs like food pantries and hot meal programs. And she's also put like 11 million of that was being put into food banks across the state as well. So knowing that there likely will be a bigger demand on these programs, she's put some state money into that to try and keep them from being overwhelmed. An important thing to know is if you have SNAP benefits on your card from before November 1st, so if you still have some from October, you can still use your SNAP card. It's just that the new benefits as of November 1st are not going to show up. We don't know yet. Things are in the works. I'm going to show you where you can check in order to see what the updates are as it gets closer to the date where you get your SNAP benefit. One thing that I'm really happy to be able to highlight is that Smart Staff, prior to this, has put together a list of local food pantries and hot meal programs that are like east, little bit of central Harlem, but the closest ones to us. And they've double checked all this information. So it's likely the most accurate you're going to find because they've been in touch with these programs just to make sure that all the information is up to date. We have it in both English and Chinese. So it's going to look like this. We have local food pantries and hot meal programs listed and with the most up-to-date information that we have on their distribution hours, on their participation or eligibility requirements, and just what to expect as well. So this is one reliable source of information about that. It's sometimes hard to get all that information in one place, so it's really nice to be able to have that. So one place that you can look up some of this information is the Food Bank for New York City's interactive map. Again, I think the list that we have has been confirmed within the past couple of weeks, so it's probably the most up to date, but the Food Bank for New York is probably pretty good too, especially if you're in an area other than East Harlem. If you live somewhere outside the general area and you're looking for an emergency food program near you, this is a really helpful tool. Or if you're looking for one for a family member who lives somewhere else in Manhattan, this can be really helpful. So let me click on this. When you click on that link, you'll end up here, find a food pantry near me. And this is the Find Food map. You actually just scroll down and there it is. One thing I will say about this map that was a little frustrating is that the translate feature isn't great. It doesn't actually translate the entries for the food programs themselves, but it does translate some of the information that is on like buttons and stuff like that. But let me just show you how this works. So you see all the different dots on here are different food programs. And they're color coded. So the purple ones, which there's tons of them, are the food pantry programs. There are mobile pantries, there are breakfast, lunch, and dinner programs as well. So what you can do is put in your zip code. If you're looking for a particular organization that you know of, you can just enter that agency's name. But for our purposes, we're going to look at the zip code for SMART, so 10029. Let's say that you really need a pantry or meal program right now, today. You can check Open Now. It's going to limit your options because it'll be only the programs that are currently open. Here we'll have the New York Common Pantry, which is one that's open a lot. So if you do need to find some food today, that is something that you can click on. And then let's say we don't do that. We just look at everything that's available. We're going to go here, zoom in, and we'll see we have Little Sisters. We have the Mount Zion AME Church program. This one is New York Common Pantry, so they do lunch distribution, pantry bag distribution. We have mobile pantry here, the Lehman Village Pantry. Clicking on any of these entries, you'll see when their days of distribution are, what it is they give out. Sometimes they only do one day a month, so they'll say that, and then the hours of those programs as well. There's also the address of the program and a phone number, which could be really helpful if you need to double check any of these details. But this works for any of the boroughs. So if you wanted to look in Brooklyn, Staten Island, anywhere, you can zoom in and see what's near you. And again, if you are looking for something today to go pick up, you go ahead and check the Open Now button. And these multi-service locations tend to be bigger programs. So if you're not having luck at some of the smaller ones, it's worth checking these out. Sometimes bigger operations operate on more days, so worth giving that a shot. Just because something isn't on this map doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are ones that don't show up on the food pantry map that do exist otherwise. I think there's one or two on that list that actually don't show up on this map either. So it's one of those things where sometimes you have to use multiple resources to find everything that's available to you. Things to keep in mind. Food pantry distribution days and times can change based on what kind of food they're getting in, when their deliveries happen. Sometimes they have to change their hours. So if you can, go ahead and call before you go, just to make sure that all that information that you're getting is still accurate. Sometimes it can be hard to call in, swing by if you can't get through, just to see if it's not too big of a trip for you. Maybe just go by and see if they're open on the day that they said they are, but otherwise try and call. Some food pantries will only serve specific populations, like they might only serve residents of a certain zip code, so you might have to show them your ID that says, yes, I live in this zip code. They might only serve seniors. There's a number of food pantries that have specific programs that are for specific groups of people, but they also serve the general population as well. So just make sure you're talking to somebody there to see what you qualify for and to make sure that you're getting everything that you do qualify for. So either talk to somebody on site there or give them a call. Moving on to Grow NYC and Health Bucks. So what Health Bucks are, $2 coupons that can be used to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables at all NYC farmers markets and farm stands. So $2 coupons, you use them to pay for. It's very specifically fresh fruits and vegetables, so produce at farm stands. I know they sell other stuff like prepared food and like honey and stuff like that. You need to use these specifically for fruits and vegetables or produce of any kind. They're really great. Like you can just use them as if they were cash. But also if you go to any farmer's market or farm stand, you go to the main booth, the one that has Grow NYC on it, and swipe your SNAP card. If you have SNAP benefits on there that you can use to buy produce, so you have things left over when SNAP benefits are up and running again as normal, this is something to know. Go swipe your card and you are eligible for up to $10 in Health Bucks for, let's say you spend $10 on fruits and vegetables, you can get matching funds of $10 worth of Health Bucks. So you can make that amount of money go twice as far. So that can be really helpful, especially when you're trying to purchase fresh local food. So it's a good incentive for using your SNAP card at a farmer's market or farm stand. There's an interactive map of farmers markets, but it was being a little bit funky because all technology recently is being very strange. As you'll see, they're all over the place. Some are bigger than others. If any of you have been to like the Union Square Farmers Market, that one's huge and happens multiple times a week. One of the ones that's close to us is the Mount Sinai Green Market. We used to have the one that was on the corner near the building. I think there's one on 118th now as well. There's not tons in the local area, but there's a few in the local area that I encourage you to check out. And all of these accept Health Bucks. So feel free to use them and to stretch the money you have for fresh food that way. Another thing too, I just thought this was cool. If you want to find farmers markets near you, so let's say you're not in East Harlem or you just want to see a list of the couple ones that are close by, you can text this phrase "so good" or "muy rico" for Spanish to 55676. And then you'll send them your zip code or your address, and they'll send you a list of the 3 closest green markets, farmers markets near you. So I did this just to show you how it's done. So just like you're sending a text, you open your texting app, and then you click on the little text button to start a new text thread. Type in 55676 as who you're sending it to, and then type in "so good" or "muy rico" for Spanish, and you'll get this automated text that'll say put in your zip code or your address. And so I put in 10029, and it immediately sent me back the Mount Sinai Green Market with their dates and times, Harvest Home, Metropolitan Hospital Farmers Market, and Children's Aid Go. That's the one on 118, which has the healthy food boxes and also operates a farm stand. So that's just a helpful thing to have if you need to know the ones that are closest to you. And now it's in my phone, so I can go back and look at it, which is helpful. And again, also in Spanish, if that is helpful to you. So we talked about these things. Still, there's this uncertainty about SNAP. Where can you go to find out the latest information about what's going on with SNAP benefits? My advice right now is to rely on New York State and New York City websites for the most accurate information. I would not trust federal sources for this information right now. So I'm going to give you a New York State link, which they're updating with all the information that they have about what's going on with SNAP. You should be receiving a message on November 1st for sure about the state of your SNAP funds, but you should be getting ongoing text messages or however you get messages about your SNAP benefits. You should be getting updates about them. But if you get text messages about SNAP, then you should be getting text messages about the most recent status updates as we go. This is a state link. I'll show you what it looks like. That just answers questions about November SNAP benefits. And they're saying, come back here. This will be updated as we get more information. I'm going to be looking at this to see what's going on. If anything big happens, check back here regularly. But this is just a good, general, trustworthy site to go to that will tell you what's going on with our benefits here in New York State. I know it's a very stressful time, and we want to just help out any way that we possibly can. If you want to share information about food programs that you know about, or if you see something listed somewhere where the hours are wrong or something, let us know and we'll share that information too. We want to make sure everybody has accurate information and access. The numbers are listed too. Feel free to share it with people. We want people to have this information. One of the things that I was going to say is that food pantries can sometimes get overwhelmed with demand, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the information. So go look for what you need. Please do share these, because if nothing kicks in before November 1st, a lot of people are going to need help. And again, we have them in English and Chinese, so share them as much as you want to.